What's up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome again to Ryan's Opinion Don't Matter. Hopefully, y'all having a blessed, wonderful day. Hopefully, all is well, all is good in your neighborhood, in your life. God is good. God is good. God is great. God is wonderful. Um, Reason why I titled this video "Make It Count," and that can apply to a whole lot of different things. But I just think sometimes, you know, we need to use our time wisely and make it count as much and as often as possible. Um, on a day-to-day basis, and it's no, I'm not here to get real serious about a lot of stuff. I really want to just got on my live just to kind of enjoy myself. Hopefully, have a conversation with those that come in. When you do come in, please hit the like the button. God bless you, top to bottom here in skincare. Hopefully, you're having a good, great morning. Hopefully, all is well. But yeah, just I just feel like I'm making it count. Like sometimes I don't think we use our time wise, so to speak, and we don't value our time sometimes the way we should value it. Oh, that's a blessing. That's good news right there. That's good news. God bless you. Yeah, yeah, make it count. Like filling orders, making it count, using your time wisely. I and that I say that because as much as people don't realize, sometimes I think people think when you on YouTube or when you what they call influencers or whatever. I don't know what they I do this because I like to do it. So that's my thing. But I also try it on a day-to-day basis. I try to make it count. Like I really put a lot of my days are like boom, 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 boom. Then I'm talking, and then I got to go to sleep. So I get up in the morning, I go to work, and then I come. I have a time in between that I could do videos and stuff like that. So I either doing videos while I'm doing videos. A lot of times, I'm on the stock market. Most of the time, I'm on the stock market. As soon as I get the moment, bam, I'm on the stock market. Then I get, on my lives or whatever when I got time to do the lives and stuff like that. And but so it's, my day. You only have a certain amount of time in your day to try to be productive, and so I try to make use of every moment as much as possible. You know what I mean? And thing of it is that people don't realize. I mean, I guess they do, but I don't think people think that your cost of living is never going to stop. When you're sleeping, the cost of living is still going. If you're sleeping with that nightlight on, or you're sleeping with the TV running, or whatever, it's just your costs, your expenses are always still going. And I used to tell my kids, I said, you got to try to outpace it as much as possible. It's not going to stop, but it's going to always cost you. But if you outpace it enough and do the right things, make good, smart decisions with your money, you can outpace it where, again, your time, you're not just working for your time, your money is also working for you also. And but I just think sometimes we take a lot of this stuff lightly. You know what I mean? And we really have to refocus our attention. And I was listening to Jay's video, and which is Bone Crusher on my YouTube. But I was listening to him, and he was going through a lot of the stuff with the with basically with the big beautiful bill. And but I'm not getting into the big beautiful bill part about it. Is that one thing that he emphasizes it more than I do, but we both kind of agree with is that I don't like handouts, and he don't like handouts neither. I don't like handouts neither, but he just emphasizes it more. But we both definitely probably have the same standard with it, but he just emphasizes it a little more than I do. But we both still feel the same way. And the reason, and I'm quite sure he probably agrees with me with this, but the reason why I don't like handouts because it unmotivates people. And that's the best way to explain it. It unmotivates people. And I see when I watch people that are waiting for something to be given to them, and I'm not talking about people that actually need it. Like I know people that, medically need it, like whatever. But I'm talking about people that literally will go through the whole process of finding some slick way to try to manipulate the system to get handouts. If you can go through all of that slick stuff to try to figure out a way to get handouts, why not put that smart, intelligent, slick stuff and put effort into either starting your own business or bringing more value to yourself where people want you working for them? Like if you could put that much effort into trying to be slick and all the other stuff, why not make it work for you and put it into something meaningful? But I know, and so when they start talking about cutting certain people off of it, yes, I agree with you, top to bottom, hair and skincare, 100%. It's crippling. And when the reason why I'm bringing it up from that angle is because this is the thing that I think sometimes, and the community that I grew up in, and predominantly of us was all black, I think which crippled a lot of them because they gave them something to say you don't have to do anything. And then what ended up happening is to a lot of people in the community, and I'm not saying that it don't affect other communities. I'm just saying where I grew up at and what I seen the negative effect that it had on where I grew up at. And most of us was all African American. And I watch people just sit around, collect. And I'm grown, working and I'm working. And they just sitting around. I'm like, I'm busting my behind. The government is taking out a good chunk of my money for y'all to just sit around and not do nothing. And I'm supposed to just be okay with that. I'm just saying. I'm supposed to just be okay with the fact that I'm getting up every day, and some jobs I've had to get up 2 o'clock in the morning to be to work at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Matter of fact, I've gotten up way earlier than that. And honestly, when I had to be at 3 a.m., I was getting up more so 1 o'clock in the morning because by the time I get ready and leave the house, I had an hour drive, maybe an hour, sometimes an hour and 10 minutes, depending on, but I'm driving almost an hour every single day to work. Every day. An hour. I never was late and I was always on time. But I'm getting there, pulling up at work at 2:30, maybe 2:40 at work to begin my day at 3 o'clock. Right? And I'm supposed to be okay with, I've spent 8, 9, sometimes 10, sometimes 11 hours. Yes, I agree with you top to bottom. And when I was young, I seen a lot of adults work. And I'm not referring to those people because I agree with you that most adults did work. But I'm just I'm emphasizing on the people that didn't. And, and I got up and I bust. When I say I bust my behind, I bust my behind. And I've always worked. I've never, and I'm not saying that, there were times that it was rough. It was rough a lot of times. But I always worked. And I remember my first time actually getting a job and how good it felt. Like, man, I got a job. Like I actually, I was convinced somebody enough that I had enough ability to convince them that to give me an opportunity. And I was able to sell myself to some extent to somebody to give me an opportunity to work, whatever. I don't knock people that work a job. And I hate when I see people like, oh man, I'm not going to be working for this person. I'm not going to work for that. There's nothing wrong with it. It builds character. It builds integrity in a lot of cases if you take it the right way. So I don't despise small beginners and I don't knock people that work because I'm honestly speaking, there's a lot of people that don't want to run a business. There's a lot of people that don't want to be in the corporate America. They don't want to deal with the whole process of running a business and stuff like that. So I get it. And I understand it because I've been on both sides. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, so for me, growing up in the city, I seen a lot of people just sitting around and not doing nothing for the money, and they just getting handouts and getting handouts. And I'm gonna tell you where it really gets under your skin. And I know if you work, you see this. And I'm not saying it's only black people or only where I grew up at. It's all over because I see this all over the place. So I can tell you right now that this, I don't like it, and it's in every single race, all the way across the board. I don't care when some people try to say, "Oh, it's always black people community." No, it's not. It is every community got these type of people because I see it in every single community because I go to the stores. And especially when you go into Walmart and you just look around and you see these people and they're eating food that you can't afford to eat because you working and you out here busting your behind, and they're taking your tax dollars and funding it to these programs, and they're able to purchase better food. They're buying crab legs and all this other stuff. And you're trying to budget out for the week what you can eat. They're eating better than you are, and you're the one working. They're getting better food. You know what I mean? You in there like, man, I gotta do just enough to make it to the next paycheck. Meanwhile, they were in there buying Fruity Pebbles, Frosted Flakes, crab legs, steak, filet mignon, all types of stuff. And you looking at them, and then when you get in line, you see them, and they got EBT cards or whatever case may be, and you just looking and you're like, man, must be nice. And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying this is what goes through your head if you're honest. Yes, and to be honest, it was and talked about it. And listen, I still see it. And you would look and you would say, must be nice. Now, some of the times I've known some of these people personally, not like friendship wise, but I see them on the regular. I know that they don't get up and go to work and do nothing. Growing up, I know they don't have no jobs. They're not trying to work. They just sit around and they done, just waiting for that and end of the month and get more money. And they buying better food, living better than you are. And you out here paying mortgages. You out here paying rent. You out here paying electric. You out here paying gas. You out here paying all this other stuff. And the government is subsidizing their lifestyle. And you're working. You're behind off. And the government is taking your money and subsidizing their lifestyle. And they mad that you got a problem with that. What's up, Jay? How you doing? God bless you. God bless you, man. And I agree with you. Thank God. Thank God that it's coming to an end. I mean, I know we still got to get that big, beautiful bill through the Senate. I think the Senate, and then make it to Trump's desk. It should make it through the Senate, but from what I've been seeing, there's quite a few Republicans that's trying to, they want to hold it up, and they're gonna find out real quick. Once I find out, I'm trying to lay back until I see, it's like 5 or 6 Republicans that's like trying to be, whatever you want to call it, but. Yeah, I hope so. I'm be honest with you. I hope so. But I've been reading some stuff, and some of these Republicans are trying to making it. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm falling back because I don't want to jump the gun on it, and I just say, yeah, I'm gonna jump the gun. I agree with you, and I know that, Jay. You're absolutely right, and most of them do. But I'm just waiting for it to see. I don't want to put the buggy before the horse right now, and I just want to wait it out and just once Trump is like this, I'm like, okay, good. So I just didn't want to jump the gun, but I agree 100% with you, Jay. And it's like, but my thing is just when you look at it from a lifestyle perspective, it unmotivates you because here's the thing: what ends up happening, even though you're looking at it. Yeah, I know. I ain't worrying about them the so-called elite class. They need to be dismantled anyway. But here's what ends up happening with that type of handout system. What it does is it limits your ability to do it on your own. Because I'm gonna tell you something, you can provide better for yourself than the government could. because the government only wants you there because they want to guarantee that you will vote for them that way. And that's usually the Democratic Party. By and large, that's usually the Democratic Party, is they want you to I was listening to your video, and I realized that I haven't actually went through the whole bill, and I'm just falling back. Yeah, and my thing is this: is that so if you look at the bill the way, and I didn't actually look at all the bill, but I was listening to Jay's thing, and he brought out the fact that it's $30K salary and start. My thing is this: is that this is what I've been saying prior to this when Trump was running on no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and cutting taxes for people and cutting all these regulations and going after this gas and bringing down energy costs. That right there affects 60% or more, and that's usually that. All of that affects the working class citizen, not the ones that want to lay up and do whatever. They don't want to do nothing. I'm talking about the everyday working class citizen, right? Yeah, there is a lot in it, and you got to sit down and you actually got to go through it line by line by line by line. And listen, I know that there's going to be stuff in that bill that I'm probably not going to agree with. I know it. I know there's probably going to be stuff that I'm saying, but I know that when you're doing these type of things with Congress and stuff, there's always some type of compromise and negotiation and stuff like that. So I get it. But they go and these people sit around and wait for the government to do something. All it's doing is limiting your ability to do it yourself and go far. Because what if you really have an idea, you really have a concept or a belief or something like that, or like the church say, God, let's say God gave you some type of vision and you never put it to work. And you're never going to see the fruits of your labor if your fruit is coming from someone else. Someone else's labor. And this is why I 100% agree with the vast majority of this bill. And it basically what it is shifting the money back to the people who actually work for it. And I've been saying this. And it's not complicated. I've been saying this from the gate when it all came out. I said it's shifting the money back to the people who work for it. So by and large, the people that work for it should get their money, and they should get to decide what happens with their money. So if I'm working overtime, and the government's going, because what people don't realize when you work overtime, once you hit a certain amount of hours until overtime, it's almost like, why would you do it? Because they tax it so harshly. Then it's like, no, I almost end up coming out with the same paycheck from. So once you go past about 8 hours overtime, and I'm gonna say 8, some say 10, some say other, it almost you might work 14 hours and it almost look like you came home with the same pay as if you worked 8 hours. And this is the point that I keep saying to people is that you don't realize is that they're doubling down on the taxes on you. And so why I don't understand, well, I do understand why Democrats is, because a lot of their people are the ones that's milking the system. And I know that's what they're doing. They're milking the system and they're using this type of stuff to fearmonger people to keep them voting for them. And I get it. You know what I mean? Because they have nothing else to offer but that. Well, the way I look at it, it's not going to be the tax filer. I think you're going to see it in your paycheck everywhere, and that's where it should be. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but from my opinion, it looks like it's going to be in your paycheck. Like your paycheck is just going to be better. Now I know they're saying that in a year you're going to see a lot more difference. In your, they were estimating how much people would see in a year, but my thing is this: is that if there's no tax on tips, it should be in your paycheck. Every time I get paid, I should see more money. I know when Trump did the tax cut before, we seen it in our paychecks. When I was working and the Trump tax cut went into effect, we started seeing more money in our paycheck. Okay. I mean, yeah, okay, I see it. Yeah, that's what I said. When it went into effect before, it was more money in my paycheck. It wasn't like I had to wait for the money. And that's the way I like it. Put it in my paycheck. I'm very good with how I handle my money. I'm very good with what I do with my money. So let me have my money. I don't like it when the government takes my money and hand it to people that don't deserve it. I have a problem with that, and I do not like it. But my point is, you shouldn't want the government in your lifestyle. You should not want the government giving you these type of programs and trying to do all this stuff, because it's going to limit your ability to do it yourself, and you're not going to end up with the lifestyle that you probably could do if you did it on your own by yourself. I don't want nothing from the government, and I don't take nothing from the government, because they're not really giving me nothing. They're taking it from someone else and saying they're going to help me, when I'm like, well, why about y'all just stay out the way and let the people have theirs? Let me create wealth for myself. Whatever I make and whatever I earn, let me keep the vast majority of it. And I guarantee you that I'll do better than what you could do with it, because the government is irresponsible with money. I can't listen. The conversation about Social Security has always been up there. Oh, it's going to run out. It's going to run out. But yet these are very same people that's taking the money and spending it recklessly. So why would I trust y'all to protect my future when I know y'all ain't protecting my future? Y'all all, the vast majority of people in politics, and these people are very irresponsible with money. So I'm going to trust y'all with money when I look at the United States deficit and it's through the roof. But I'm supposed to trust y'all with money, with my future. That's why I want tax cuts. Give me more of mine so I can do with mine what I know to do with mine, and I will come out better because I get to keep the vast majority of mine that I work for. It's as simple as that. I'm very good with managing my own money. I invest my own money. I look for opportunity with my own money, and I try to find the best ways to make money. And it's not just about investing in the stock market. That's part of it. And, investing in real estate and, buying. There was a point where I was, buying houses, renting them out and stuff like that. I'm sure I've been filtering myself out of that because that's not the direction that I wanted to go. I don't see nothing wrong with it. And I think it could be very lucrative if you did it smart. I think it'd be very lucrative if you get it smart. Now, Jay says it's best time to get into farming. And he may be right. If you go watch his video on his channel, you'll probably get an idea why he's saying that. Because I watched the video, I didn't finish the tail end of it, but he was talking about the money that the government is giving out, not giving out, but giving the opportunity for you to do it in rural areas. But if you really want to know, then you might want to go to his page, follow his page, check out the channel, and watch that video, and to give you a little more insight of what he's talking about. But yeah, and this is where, this is where I just tell people, and I've been saying this for a while, you don't want it. You just don't want it. And I refer back to when I was running my basketball league. And when I was running my basketball league, and there's nothing against my brother, because, he meant well what he was trying to help me do, because he seen what I was doing. And he was trying to say, oh man, you can go, what's up? What's up, Chris Farrell? How you doing? God bless you. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Everybody, please, if you on this live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, so, and it's like, but my brother was he was encouraging me to try to go get a grant from the city of Philadelphia to help with my basketball league, because there was stuff that needed to be done. And I said to him, I said, nah, I'm good. I said, because the minute that I start going to them, they want to tell you how to do it. They want to watch and they want to monitor everything you're doing. And I'm not good with that. You know what I mean? So I was like, no, I'm good. If I can't do it off the money, I'm going to tell y'all something. And what I learned with that when I did the basketball league. And this is why I say, people, it is best that you don't have government involved. What ended up happening when I had the basketball league, and this is the part that I did not see when I did it, but I was doing the basketball league to give the kids in the neighborhood something to do. Like, I just, I'm not big in sports. Y'all might see the Steelers and stuff like that, but at one point I watch sports, but I really don't watch sports like that at all. And one day I'm gonna do a segment on, should I go back to watching sports or not? But right now, I just kind of don't really watch a whole lot of sports. I do go to Mike Sports Vibe channel, and I support his channel because I like his content and stuff like that. So all of my sports knowledge up until this point is basically from that. But when I did the basketball league, back to what I was saying about the basketball league, it got popular. Like in the neighborhood, it got real popular. And what ended up happening is people started coming from different areas and stuff, and they was there watching the games. We would run the game on Mondays. I think it was Mondays. No, it was Tuesday, Thursday, and I think Saturday, something like that. I forget what the schedule was. Anyway, we were doing 3 days a week, and it started out, relatively good, small. We had a DJ come out. The first day we did the opening game. We ran a couple of games. We had the DJ come out. We had music and stuff like that. We made a little bit of big enough event out of it that we could. That was the first day. Then every time we had the games, more and more people started showing up. And there were times that I can tell you that it was outside. So it was probably easily 400 to 500 people out there watching the games every time we had games. And it got real popular. I did not expect that. But I'm going to tell you what happened to the people in the neighborhood. They started wanting to set up tables to be able to sell stuff. Right? Now, I'm not seeing this part when I set up the basketball league. All I was trying to do was give the kids something to do because they was getting into other stuff. So they was like, Ryan, would you mind if we set up, I want to sell some burgers, hot dogs and burgers and stuff. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't care. You want to. But they was asking me out of respect because of what I did. And I had started it all. And I said, well, I tell you what. They was like, you want some type of money or some type of fee out of it. Now, here's the thing. Remember I told y'all, all these people in my community, predominantly, were black, right? But they saw opportunity. And they said, well, if I can sell, what can I sell out here? Whatever. And I said, well, I tell you what. Give me a case of water because the guys that play basketball, I wanted to make sure it was more than enough water out there. Just go buy a case of water and ice. And we got 2 big trash cans out there, and we dump ice into, and we dump a whole bunch of water into it. That way they can drink as much water to stay hydrated as much as possible. And I said, this is for all of just the basketball players, not anybody else. It's only for the basketball players. And I said, as long as you do that, we can, you good. You can set up and sell what you want to sell. Now, the first guy, I'm not mentioning no names, but he had set up his grill, and he wanted to sell hot dogs and hamburgers. And I said, you can do the hot dogs and hamburgers, but you can't sell the drinks now because somebody else wanted to. They pulled their water ice truck up there, and they were selling water ice. And they were selling water ice, and they were selling sodas and drink like that. And they were selling like cheese pretzels and stuff like that off the water ice truck. And he was out there. So I said, I don't want your business to interfere with his business. So you can do the hot dogs and hamburgers, but I don't want everybody to do too much of the same stuff. So then another lady came and she was like, well, I see you letting them set up. She said, if it's all possible, can I go get a bushel of crabs and start selling crabs out there? Fine. I had no problem with that. Same rule is I just want y'all to put some water out there. You can donate to the league, but I want to make sure we have plenty of water for everybody out, for all the players out there and the coaches, actually. So we had 8 teams. And then what ended up happening is, by the time I realized it, somebody was starting to sell shirts. Somebody was starting to sell. Everybody was coming there because people were gathering there, and it started coming into a big event. When I say it probably grew into. There were times there was probably 800 people out there, and now we got music playing. Everybody out there chilling. We out there. We got cars. That time I was detailing and washing cars. They got them out there. They coming to get their cars clean. It became a whole neighborhood event every single day, and people was in love with it. I still to this day sometimes people are like, man, I wish we could do it again. I don't live there no more, but at the time it was a wonderful thing. But my point is that people saw opportunity to make money. I didn't go to them and say, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. My point is, when you give people opportunity, 9 times out of 10, and I'm not saying all of them, they will take advantage of it. They will jump in and they will take advantage of it. And I'm not saying all, but they have. And they was, and before long, without even trying to do that part, the neighborhood was starting to make money. People in the neighborhood, and money was starting to funnel into that community. Now, the basketball court that we had wasn't the best situation. It really wasn't. But it did bring attention to the neighborhood to the point where they finally, after them, they were fighting to try to get this stuff redone for 15, 20 years. And the city of Philadelphia kept saying they ain't got no money to do this, right? Finally, after that year, then I'm going to say either the next year, they went and did some work over there, but then they actually redid the whole area. They finally gutted it, redid the whole area, put real nice courts out there, real nice playground out there, and everything is nice up there. But my point is this, is that prior to that, they kept ignoring the community. They kept ignoring them. And these are, once again, Democrats. But because it was so loud and there was so much attention around there, now they looked at, oh, votes. You see what I'm saying? They looking at votes. They like, whatever's going on around there, we better make sure we get our hand in there because it's about 1,000 people around there on a regular basis. We better go do the right thing because now these are voters. Because what they did was, this is the part that I do not like about politicians. They literally came around there while we had the games going on. Well, the game wasn't going at the time, but they came around there and they started taking pictures. And one of the district councilmen or whatever the case may be, I don't even know who it was, they tried to take credit for my work. Like literally. They had no partake in this. They tried to take credit for my work. And I'm telling you, this is why I don't really care too much for politicians. And they was going to put into an article about, I forget the politician's name, what he did around here and how he created a better environment, the basketball games, a lot of people talking about it. First of all, and when they was doing it, and my cousin was like, man, I was like, man, and I was pissed. And I'm not lying about this story. My cousin and my brother both know about this story because when they walked up, they started snapping pictures. And we trying to went, why are they over there taking pictures? And my cousin was the first person to approach them because I was doing something. He was like, why y'all taking pictures? And he was like, oh, we were taking pictures because we're writing an article of the certain politician that, he put this together and stuff. But we was like, so my cousin come back with a mad look on his face. He was like, yo. And I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? He was like, man, they over there trying to say so-and-so did all of this. And I was like, oh, wow. So we went back, I went over there. I'm like, what's this all about? They was like, I'm like, no, it ain't had nothing to do with that. And my cousin was more louder than I was, which is surprising in itself. He was like, no, my cousin did all of this. He did this. He did that. He did this. He did that. He did this. He was like, y'all going to write it? And he was like, well, we didn't know that. We thought we was like, and he was like, well, why would y'all assume? But I know they wasn't assuming. I know who these people are. And I know that they have information that they have access to. And y'all knew something. Somebody told y'all and y'all just came around. Yeah, okay. Somebody tried to take credit for it. And they had no doing. And now that's why a couple of years later, they actually did it because they wanted to take credit for it. They wanted to get credit for it getting done now. But before that, they wouldn't even touch it. Wouldn't do nothing. Because they already knew that the people around there was going to vote for them. But when the people started becoming more independent and they started making their own money, they said, oh, we're going to lose votes. We got to go around there. We got to make ourselves known again. And I'm trying to tell y'all that's why it is by far better to be away from them than to let them have say so in what you do. If you got an idea, you got a dream, and you got something that you really, really have ambition about, and you believe in it. What's up, 47? How you doing? God bless you. God bless you, man. Welcome in. Thank you. Welcome in. If you got something that you really believe in, man, go do it. When I say go do it, go do it. Don't wait for somebody to come give you something to go do it. You'll find a way. Because I found a way. And listen, all it was me and my cousin was sitting there talking, and I looked at him and I was like, man, these kids need something to do around here, man, because if not, they're going to get in more trouble. This is exactly the conversation that me and him was doing. He was like, well, whatever. I said, there's an empty lot over there and nothing going on with it. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start a basketball league right there. And he just looked at me like, what? And I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. And I said, that way it gives them something to do. And I said, the other thing is that, man, I said, it's going to help me. It's going to help us business-wise. He was like, why? I said, because if they come around here and watch the games, we're washing cars. We're going to make more money just because of them coming around there. And my business became very lucrative at the time. But again, other people in the neighborhood was making money too. Why? Because they were selling stuff to all the people that was coming around there. And that it became lucrative. Even the local stores, because there were two stores one was right across the street, the other one was down the street. Now, the only reason why I had beef with the stores, and this is what I want y'all to understand something. I had a lot of beef with those stores because I went to both of those stores and I asked for donations to help when I was trying to start this basketball league, right? And this is where you got to understand. I'm giving y'all a lesson right now. As soon as when I asked them stores to help with the basketball league, they told me no. Now, these are the very same stores that would complain about the people who's coming to their stores stealing or coming to there and all this other stuff they was complaining. When I asked them for help with the basketball league, and I said, whatever you can help with, I could not get a nickel from them. Not one nickel. And and believe me when I tell you, they did not help not one bit. So when I started doing what I was doing and I seen that the people were selling stuff, I did not care about that store losing business, even though they was getting some out of it. But they was also losing business because people wasn't going in the stores to buy the sodas and drinks. They was buying it from the people that was out there when the game's going. So the only time the stores were making business is the days that we wasn't doing the games. But when the games was going on, they had no reason to go into the stores and get nothing because we had so much going on outside that they still was making a little cigarette money and the tobacco money and stuff like that. So yeah, they were making money, but they wasn't selling certain things because we were selling it outside. But they were making money off the community on a regular basis, but they refused to help the community when we asked for it. That's solutions. That's how you take back your neighborhood from these politicians. You do not need them. And I keep saying this over and over and over. You don't need these people to do what they keep saying they're going to do because they're never going to do what they're saying. All they're going to do is keep taking all of this government funding. They're going to do whatever they want to do with the money. They're going to enrich themselves and their cronies and the people around them and give out bogus contracts for people around them. And they're going to manipulate the system so that they can keep feeding the people around them, and you will never get nothing out of it. But the minute you get away from that system and you start doing something on a scale that you want to do it, I guarantee you will be by far more successful without them than you would be with them. And believe me when I tell you, they're going to try to put up roadblocks. Because I've had them come try to do a roadblock on me too. They tried to shut me down. They literally tried, because I was not asking them for nothing, they wanted to shut me down. And now here's the part that I'm trying to tell people. Now, again, everybody in my neighborhood, by and large, was black. Everybody. When they came around there and they tried to shut me down, you know what happened? That very same community, I didn't even look back. I was like, what, y'all want to do what? Everybody in the community was standing behind me, and I didn't even realize it. The older folk came over there, was like, what's this? They said, let me tell y'all right now. Y'all need to leave right now. Y'all ain't doing nothing. I walked away. I said, oh, okay, I ain't got to say nothing. I went back to doing what I was doing. I let the older folks at the time handle that. And they said, nope. They said, all this time we've been asking for all of this stuff, and y'all did nothing. She said, that one man right there changed the whole neighborhood off of an idea, and y'all want to come down here and try to mess it up, y'all better not ever come back around here again. Because I knew that wasn't my space. I said, these are older people. They know this better than I do. Because I know they didn't probably seen this before. So I stepped out the way, and I let them handle it. And they said, and they came back to me, and they said, you keep doing what you're doing. We'll take care of them. And they never came back. And I was able to finish out my season. I was able to give out trophies and awards and stuff like that the way that I had it planned out for that year. So when people tell me that we can't do it on our own, I know we can. That's what I try to encourage people to do. Don't ask them for nothing, because they are the reason why communities like that do not excel, because they keep waiting for them to do something and they're not going to do it. They're going to keep taking it from you. They're going to act like they're going to do it, but they're not going to do it. What you need is right there where you at. You just got to find out how to do it, and you'll be surprised how much your community will thrive without them. Because that's the problem. They are the problem. But your community will thrive without them. You'll be surprised how much you'll thrive without them, because they are the problem. Because one thing you can guarantee about a person, If a person feel like they ain't got nothing and they get ready to go hungry, it's gonna motivate them to go do it for themselves. No, I ain't getting no help. I gotta go do it. I ain't getting no help. I gotta go do it. Because all of us are people who get up and go to work every day. That's why we do it. Because we don't want we gotta do it. Top to bottom, hair and skincare, right? They have went and done pop-up stores, pop-up at stores and stuff like that. They got a website, they selling product, they got to sit there and manufacture all of this stuff in hopes to sell it. There's no guarantee. It's a hope. You get what I'm saying? It's a hope to do it. But as long as they stick to it, I guarantee they're going to be great. I know that for a fact. Are you going to run into obstacles? Yes. Are you going to run into difficulties? Yes. But anything you put your heart and soul into it, and you real deep and you serious about it, I guarantee you're going to see the fruit of your labor. It might not come when you want it to, but a lot of times it'll blindside you. You won't even know that it's happening. You'll be like, wait a minute. Wow, I didn't even, because I'm saying that because all I wanted to do was start a basketball league to help to get the kids something to do in the neighborhood, which turned into a lucrative, almost like a whole nother economy, a better economy in that neighborhood, where money was funneling to the neighborhood as opposed to going out. And that's all it takes. If you offer something of quality, people appreciate it and they will come. The NBA ain't the NBA because they got great basketball players. They're offering them something of entertainment and of quality. Ford Motor Company and all these companies that are building and manufacturing something, no one's going to buy a broken down car. You know, some people do because they're going to restore it, but you know what I mean. No one's going to go buy a brand new go buy a car that is not reliable and accountable. They will be out of business if they were just making crappy cars. Because the reputation alone will kill it. I mean, I ain't buying that. Their cars suck. But that's what my point is. But if you're providing somebody something of quality and substance, and not long after that, you're going to be you will be successful at whatever it is you decide to do. And that's real talk. Even with top to bottom hair and skincare. One day they came on my live. She came on my live. I happened to read the comments or whatever the case may be. And then I asked the question, like, you know, I noticed it sounded like some type of store or something like that. Is it an online business? And this is exactly what I did. And he was like, oh, okay. I went, checked it out. Next thing you know, I started buying their product. I do. I got easily 6 or 7 items in my house that came from their store. From hair care, skin care, bath stuff, oils, all types of stuff. They came from their store. And I like their product. It wouldn't have happened that way if I wouldn't have, like, again. And they're on this, they're facts. They have never given me a nickel. I just said, you know what? I'm going to try them out. And I mean, I like all the stuff that I had purchased from them. I like. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that there was things that came out of it that I didn't expect. But I had a hair itch issue that when my hair get dry, I would lose my mind. When I used the product, the one thing, it went away. And I thank y'all too. I appreciate it. Real. I'm not scratching like this. And so I can tell you this much, and I like all the product, but that was the one that was like, oh, it actually did something that I needed. Like, really, I mean, it's one thing to use skincare and hair care and stuff like that. And I'm not a big person on stuff like that. I wash my behind every day. I put on some deodorant, but I'm not, I don't run around lotion, and I'm not one of those people that, like men that just go through an extremes to try to, I wash my behind every day, and that's it. Deodorant, wash. There's a good chance I might not even lotion. I'm being honest with y'all. But I do have the cocoa buttercream. I like it. And I put that on or whatever case may be. And then I got the hair care stuff that I put on. And believe me, it took the itch away. Like 98%, 99% of the time, I'm not scratching my head like I used to. And I'm just saying me. I can't say what's going to happen with anybody else. I'm just saying me. But like I said, again, But if they didn't stay, if that's a business that on the ground side of it right now. But if they would have got up, I'll be if they would have gave up, I'll be still scratching my head right now. That's my whole point. If they would have gave up, I'll be sitting here like this, still looking for something to stop that itch. Still looking for something to stop that itch. And that's real talk. But, my thing is this is that's why so when Jay talks about not liking handouts and I talk about I don't like handouts, and I mean, we all have our pet peeves and stuff, and whatever the case may be, but this is why it is so essential in this country, man, to just try to do it on your own without any help from assistance. I mean, I understand about people that have physical conditions, and I'm sympathetic to that. I don't want people that have physical problems, and if you really can't do it, I'm good with that. I'm 100% okay with helping people that can't help themselves, and if the government has to step in and do that job, that's fine. But there's a lot of people that are consuming from the system that should not be getting this stuff, and we know they shouldn't. We see them. It ain't like we don't know. We see them. We know what we're talking about. We see them on a regular, taking advantage of the system. Meanwhile, you're working, and you might make good money on your job, but you still can't afford to do some of the things that they're doing. And they ain't working for nothing. They're not contributing nothing to the society, but all they're doing is consuming and taking. And I got a problem with that. I'm sorry, I got a problem with that. And I really do. And I mean, but on the flip side, I'm telling y'all that if you don't need them, you don't. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get help if you're starting a business and there is some opportunity for you to get grants and stuff like that or whatever. I mean, that's each his own. I personally won't do it because I like trying to build it on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with this YouTube channel, I want to build this YouTube channel with whatever I have offer. I'm not trying to do no gimmicks. I don't try to go see if I can get somebody to pay for subscribers or whatever, say like that. The whole enjoyment of this is that offering people something of substance as much as I can. But the whole enjoyment for me is actually doing it myself and seeing how far I can get it. And that's it. I enjoy it. And, and my thing is this is that, and if you're consistent, you'll see the fruits of your labor. I mean, but, I'm not going to be before y'all long because I got to go back to find a way to pay some of these bills. But I just wanted to get in there and just kind of emphasize that and just, like I said, make the best of your time. Make the best of your time. Make every moment count. Every single moment, every single minute of your life, as much as you possibly can, before you have to lay your head down, please make it count. Hey, you know what, Jay? I'm glad about this part, and the no tax on the car interest. I ain't bought no vehicle right now. I don't have no car notes right now. Thank God I don't. I ain't had them for a while, because but I know that I'm gonna have to eventually buy me a new vehicle because my vehicle is old. my pickup truck I've had I'm probably 10 years in and it was older. It's a 2008. Now don't get me wrong, it don't look bad, but my vehicle is a 2008, and so I'm running on borrowed time with that thing. It don't look bad. It's actually in pretty good shape to be an older vehicle, but I'm like I don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Like we're not we want to keep up with the Joneses, have a new vehicle all the time and stuff like that. But I know that that's going to be better, that I can write off the interest if I had to go finance a car. Well, there you go. See, but see that it makes sense to me, Jay. When you say you got a 2009 Impala, that makes sense to me. You know why? Because I feel like people who don't like wasting money and try to make their money count. And yeah, I might have to eventually go get one, but I'm gonna wait. And I'll drive mine till it die. Mine might die on me one day. God forbid it does. But I might have to go buy a car while I'm out. It break down. I'm like, okay, it's done now. I can't do it. I might have to walk to a dealership and get me a car at the time. Like, oh, Yeah, it broke down. I'm walking to a dealership now. I gotta go get me something else. But no, like I said, my vehicle, I don't have to, some people are flashy and I gotta have something nice. I gotta be riding. I can care less. And that's what's up. Take care of it. Like, I'm not hard on my vehicles. I take care of it and I drive it sensible. But like I said, don't get me wrong, it's a good truck. It's been, it's in good condition. I drive it every day, but I don't have to drive. I don't drive far, but it's good. My truck is a diesel, and it's a big boy. It's a 35. It's a Ram. I got a Ram 3500 diesel crew cab. I got the I can't even think of the name of it now, but it's a big truck. It's a big pickup truck. It's like the biggest pickup truck you can buy before you get into a dual. It just don't have the dual tires on it. Oh yeah, definitely. I ain't gonna lie, it will. At this point, it will. If I wanted to go buy another car, the amount of money I get back now in dividends, it would definitely pay for that vehicle, and I wouldn't have to pay it out of my paycheck. But I'd rather it go back into my stock account, so I don't want to use it. That's the holdout. Is I can use it to do that, but I'm like, I'd rather just. But I don't know. Once when I get ready to look into another vehicle, the fact that I can write off the interest might actually be a good opportunity once they pass this bill and it's actually signed and signed. That might actually be a good idea good moment to consider if I'm going to buy one and I can write off the interest. It might not be a bad time to do it if I'm going to finance one, because I try to find a way to pay cash. I can pay cash. I will. It won't be new because I don't need no new vehicle. It might be more up to date, but it ain't gonna be new. I can tell you right now, I ain't buying no new car. I can't afford that. I could be a multi-millionaire and I wouldn't even care about a new car. No, all I care about reliability. But with me, don't judge me. I'm gonna get me a minivan. Yeah, I want a minivan because I want to be able to I need a better place to keep my fishing stuff. But it doesn't work in my pickup truck too much. So I'm gonna get me a minivan, eventually get me a minivan, and that way I can keep everything in there. I ain't got to take nothing out and put it on the seats and stuff like that. It's just too much. But that's my next move, and get a minivan. Don't mean I'm gonna get rid of my pickup truck. I just don't know. I know we have to move some things around, consider things, but I might end up keeping the pickup truck. But only because of a lot of the minivans you can take all the seats out. So if I had to get something that's a large item, I can always pop the seats out, fold them up, move, and I still got some space to get some large items in there if I need to. But I don't do no type of hard labor stuff or working on stuff like that, so I don't really need it. But if I keep my pickup truck and that, it ain't gonna hurt anything. You know what I mean? But it all depends. I don't know. Right now I ain't worried about it. But it is what it is. That's all I can say. It is what it is. Yeah, I got an 8-foot bed on mine. I got the crew cab. It's a crew cab, 8-foot bed. Leather interior. I mean, it's a nice truck. At the time that I got it used, but it's a good truck, very good truck actually. But I need something. Now it's the 3500 Jay. How you doing, Joyce? God bless you. Welcome in. Hopefully all is well with you, Joyce. Glad to see you in the house. Glad to see you in the building. Yeah, it's a 3500. Is I think it has a 6.5. Yeah, 3500 6. It's a diesel, but I forget. I think it's a 6.2 diesel. Cummins diesel. Yeah, it's a big truck, but so that's gonna be weird going from that to a minivan. But that's I like minivans. I know it's not something that you hear usually men say, but I like minivans. I actually they grown on me. Minivans grew on me. I actually turned to the point where I like them. But yes, please, if you're on this live, please hit the like button. I appreciate it. I'm not going to be before y'all too much longer. I just wanted to get in here and say my thoughts. Yeah, I'm eating cookies again. I got to go get me something to eat before I have to go back to work, but I bet you missed that minivan too, Jay. Yeah, that's why I want them, Joyce. Like like y'all know that I go fishing, and like all my fishing rods and stuff is in the backseat of my pickup truck, and it looks horrible. I ain't gonna lie. So that's why if I could get me a minivan, pop that stuff in the back of the minivan. Yeah, pop that stuff in the minivan. I'll be good to go. I can keep everything in the back. And see, I got grandkids, and I want to be able to take them with me. I got grandkids, and I want to be able to take them fishing with me, man. And I really don't have the room for it. What's up, Mike, in the building? How you doing? God bless you, bro. God bless you. God bless you. Honestly, and I like that KN. I like that KN minivan. Hey, no problem, Jay. Mike in the building. Yeah, I like the KN. I think it's a Kia or whatever, but I like that KN. But Mike in the building, if you're still in the building, I got a question for you. As you may know, I want to do a sports segment because I stopped watching sports. I really did. And I know you big in sports. I know you big on the sports stuff. Yeah, I was fishing yesterday. Jay. I ain't catching nothing though, but I knew I wasn't. It was one of them days. Like Mike in the building, I know you big in the sports and stuff, and I want to do a sports segment one day. And my sports segment that I want to do, and Jay, I probably want you to get into this one day. We can talk about it because when I say oblivious to sports, I am. All I do is I go to my Sports Vibe channel and I listen to what he talk about, and that's it. But I want to do a sports segment. But the sports segment that I want to do, should I start watching sports again? Because all that controversy back then, it kind of turned me off. And I just was like, I just want to watch it. Out the pit, what's up, brother? How you doing? God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. So my question is to Mike in the building was, should I start watching sports again? Like, especially football. Because y'all know I'm a Steelers fan, but I haven't. Listen, I honestly do not know who's on the Steelers. I don't know no players. I don't know nothing. What's up, out the pit? Back, welcome to the family. So I want to do a sports segment, but I want to talk about, should I go back to watching sports and why should I do it? If so, or should I not? Should I just stay away? Oh wow! So I ain't the only one. So I don't know. It's like, don't get me wrong. I used to enjoy watching football, and I used to love boxing. I ain't gonna lie. I was a big boxing fan. I used to love watching boxing. But a lot of the stuff that has happened in sports, for some reason, it just kind of turned me off. And I just stopped watching. Oh, wow. So I guess I'm not alone in this. Out the pitch say, stay away. Because I used to enjoy watching football. Yeah, I used to enjoy watching football. And you might be right, out, but I don't know. I used to enjoy watching football, man. Like, the reason why I enjoy watching football, man, because my wow. Yeah, and it just like the only reason. All right, here's the reason why I feel like I want to go back. I thought about going back to watching sports, and the reason why I say that is because my beginning phases of watching football, and I'm gonna go with the I'm just gonna go with the football right now. I'm gonna talk about football a little bit, but is that the reason why I started watching the Steelers? Like, I mean, why I became a Steelers fan because my dad trying to teach me a lesson about my dad trying to teach me a lesson about which didn't go so well for him. But when I first started watching sports, me and my dad was sitting there watching it, and the Eagles and the Steelers were playing against each other. And we were sitting there, and I said to my dad, I bet you the Steelers are going to win. And I couldn't tell you like what season, what part of that was going on. I just know they were playing against each other. And my dad was like, boy, you ain't supposed to be gambling. I was a little kid, but I didn't mean it like I bet you, Dad. I meant it like a kid bet, like not like I bet you money and stuff. But my dad was like, boy, you ain't supposed to be gambling. So he kind of made it like you're not supposed to gamble, about gambling is bad. So I said to my dad, well, before I can even say that, I was like, well, Dad, I bet you $10, right? And my dad was like, first of all, I know you got $10. I know my dad once in a while would give me some type of money, but he was like, but I don't want you. You're not supposed to be gambling. You're not supposed to be gambling, whatever. So I was like, all right, Dad, I get it. But he ended up, he said, but I'm gonna teach you a lesson about gambling. And he said, I'm gonna bet you that $10, and I'm gonna take your $10, and after this, you better not ever gamble again in life. Okay, the Steelers beat him. So my dad had to pay me $10. So the lesson didn't go so well for him. So that's why I ended up becoming a Steelers fan when I was a kid back in the 70s. That's how it started. And so when people say, why you're a Steelers fan, even though it's in Pennsylvania, but why you're not an Eagles fan because of Philadelphia, I'm like, that's why I'm a Steelers fan. But that's why I became a Steelers fan. And don't get me wrong, I ain't got no hate against the Eagles. I like the Eagles too because I'm from Philly, but I'll take my Steelers over everybody. Now, once my Steelers are out of there, I might root for another team that I might say, okay, I'll go root for that team on that, but that's about it. But I just wanted to say that because, like I said, I'm oblivious. And I didn't watch a lot of basketball. Yeah, but I'm from Philly, so we hate the Cowboys. Man, let me tell you something. My dad, he didn't yeah, he was just like, yeah, that didn't go so well, but it was funny. But no, my dad was he was a tough dude, but he was also he didn't do a whole lot of talking, but when he did, man, it was heavy. That's all I can say. He didn't do a whole lot of talking. My dad was a teacher. He would show you how to do a lot of things, but he didn't do a whole lot of talking. But hold on. Yeah, I was a big boxing fan. I watched a lot of Tyson fight. My oldest brother he got a photograph with him and Tyson together. I think Tyson even autographed it. But so we were big Tyson fan. We would go to watch the fights over my brother's house. He would always he was a big Tyson fan, and we would go watch the fights a lot over his house. But as far as boxing go, I like the Holyfield. I like the Tyson. And it's funny we talking about boxing because Jay's channel, Bone Crusher Smith, and Jay's channel kind of had Bone Crusher. So when he had Bone Crusher up there, I thought he was a fan of Bone Crusher, the boxer. And I never asked him, but that's what I thought it was from. But yeah, I would love to get a little bit back into it, just enough that I'm not oblivious to what's going on. Like Hey, Mike, they do. I'm gonna be honest with you. I watch fishing all day long. Like literally, I watch fishing. Fishing and hunting is what I watch on TV probably 98% of the time. So I do watch a lot of fishing competitions and stuff like that. And so it's still a thing, and it's actually very, very big. But it's just not and no, I don't think it's on ESPN. I watch it. I would have to find out what channel it's on. But I do watch a lot of fishing competition. Okay, Jay. Oh wow, we was all off. I'm thinking Bone Crusher Smith, the boxer, out the pit thinking Bone Crusher, the rapper. Oh, okay. Yeah, now, and I like racing, but again, I just stopped watching a lot of sports. Now I watch racing, but I still watch sports, but most of what I watch is fishing. Well, the hunting is a sport, but it's not like a competition sport when I watch hunting. I just watch it. But it's the fishing there is a segment that they do with fishing competition and stuff like that. But you know what? I should get a fishing competition going myself. I should get a group of people and we go where I go fishing at all the time and see who catch the biggest fish. And we do it live. Yeah, I watch motorcycle racing from time to time. I like motocross. I don't know if anybody watch motocross a lot, but or not. But I used to watch motocross once in a while. But I can't think of his last name, but it was this black guy. And motocross is James something. I can't think of his. I think it's James something. Man, when I tell you that this dude was a beast on this dirt bikes, he was a beast. I watched this dude come back from a broken leg, and they were talking about he wasn't gonna be this and he wasn't gonna be that. The commentator was talking about his health conditions and stuff like that. Man, this dude was riding his dirt bike like in a race or whatever. And next thing you know, after about 3 or 4 laps of them going around, he hit that throttle. The way he hit that ramp and came down that ramp, he was almost in last place. By the time they did a couple more laps, when he got into the race, he made it look effortless. I was like, yo, this dude is a beast. I didn't realize he was that good. But I can't think of his name fully, but he was he's a dirt motocross, but he's very popular in motocross, but you don't hear about it, but he's real good. Yeah. So I see these guys riding these dirt bikes on the street and wheeling and stuff. Y'all ain't built like y'all don't know what. Go on the dirt where that bike's supposed to be. Go compete up against very good people and go compete up against guys in that sport. And if you really want to say you good at it, go race them. And you gotta, when you coming up that ramp and you got to hit that throttle at a speed perfect enough to come down the other side of that ramp. And that dude, he jumped over one hump and went to the second hump. Yeah, I'm good. And listen, I used to ride a motorcycle. I used to have I ain't ride I think Jay, when you was on your motorcycle, you had a what? You had a cruiser, right? I used to have I had a Crouch Rock, I had a Gixxer, I had a Kawasaki. Was it Kawasaki? No, it wasn't Kawasaki. Suzuki 600. Mine was a 600. It was nice too. I had it tricked out and everything. Chrome rims on it. I tricked that thing out nice, but never really rode it that much. But I had a Gixxer 600. Pillow, yeah, you know what? What y'all think about that slapping stuff? When out the pit talking about the pillow fighting, yeah, I know it is. Oh, you had a 1,000. Okay, GXR 1000. As yeah, my brother, me and my brother and them used to ride. My other brother had he had a Kawasaki 900, and my other brother had a TL 1000. He had a Suzuki TL 1000. I had a Gixxer 600, but mine was spruced up. So yeah, like my brother, we would race sometimes. Now he had it. My brother had the TL 1000. My other brother had a 900, Kawasaki 900, and I had a Gixxer 600. But here's the funny thing: we would go racing, and they already knew I was going to get off the line the fastest because I was very good at getting off the line fast, and I would just choom. But I already knew that TL 1000 was coming, and it was coming quick. So I tried my best to get to the finish line before they can get there. But all I had, he had his TL, my brother's TL 1000 had he had them D&D pipes on it, so I would hear it. It was loud. Even though I had mine, you could hear it, but he had that TL 1000, and he had some D&D pipes on it. And Dave, I know you know bikes, so you know what them D&D pipes sound like. Man, he would come. I hear him coming. I was like, yeah, it's over with for me now. I had my first few seconds of fame where I was beating everybody, but I already knew he was coming. That thing was fast. Oh, snap. Jay had the D&D pipes too. Yeah, man, that thing was loud. Yeah, I already knew he was coming. I had a couple of other buddies that had you know, man, but man, I mean, I rode for a little bit, but I got away from it. Um, I enjoyed it when I used to ride them, but I didn't ride a whole lot of stuff, man. I was working all the time. I really hadn't. It was to me it was a waste of money on a motorcycle because I worked so much that the bike just sat, and it was just a waste of money. Honestly, it was a waste of thousands of dollars because I worked so much. I had no way. Yeah, I never joined the club. It was just me and my two brothers. That was just us. We would just once in a while we would get together and we ride. And we never I never actually joined clubs. I mean, we would come across people on the streets. I can't think of those guys' names, but a lot of guys that had bike clubs and stuff like that, and they would try to get us in there, but we just never. I like archery. Joyce, I like archery. I can do that. I mean, I like it. But yeah, I would like I would watch I watch a lot of those I watch it like I watch a lot of hunting shows and I watch a lot of fishing competitions and stuff like that. But yeah, I worked so much I couldn't ride that bike that much. It was just a waste of money. Yeah, I don't know about the what Falcony. Yeah, it was a waste to me. It was a waste of money for me because oh yeah, that's a good reason to get away from. Yeah, yeah, Man, I'll be honest with you. That's a good reason to get away from riding a motorcycle. Now, they're beautiful to ride, and I understand why people ride them, man. But I was one of the accidents I seen on a motorcycle. And this is one of the reasons why I was like, nah, I'm good. I was sitting at a light in Philadelphia, 66 and Broad, I think it was Broad Street, and I was on 66th Avenue just sitting there, and somebody cut the motorcycle off. He was coming fast. The motorcycle was coming fast, but somebody cut him off. I watched that motorcycle slide from one side of that road. I mean, he slid, man, far. Like it was like almost a whole city block of him and the bike sliding. Now he's not on the bike no more because he done went down. All you see is sparks flying from the bike, and he's following behind the bike, but he's getting road rash the whole time because he didn't have the jacket and stuff on. He just had on a t-shirt while he was riding. So you see the road rash just ripping the back of his skin off because he's on his back as he's sliding on his backside. And man, it was the worst thing I ever seen in my life, man. It was horrible to watch. Yeah. You mean like a remote control airplane, Jay? Yeah, that was, I mean, watching that was like, yeah, I'm good. Oh, I never watched that. That's a new one to me. That's definitely a new one to me. I never watched an airplane race. I didn't know that was a sport. But yeah, man, I watched it. The guy survived the accident. But that was a horrible thing to watch. And I'm sitting there in the car and I'm watching the whole thing. Just my eyes is like, whoa. And I mean, at that point, I wasn't really riding that much no more. But I was just like, yeah, no, I'm good. And my brother got rid of his TL 1000. The guy that he sold it to, I think like a month later, died on the bike. So it was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't even encourage nobody to ride bikes at this point. I'm like, to each his own with that. I don't tell people not to, but I seen enough of it and I heard enough stories to say, no, I'm good. Yeah, he didn't have that jacket on. And people don't realize that if you get the right jacket, they're rated, how many feet before it'll burn through the jacket or whatever and stuff like that. So that's why a lot of this stuff is protection gear is necessary. But sometimes people don't wear them, and the helmets and stuff like that. But yeah, it was horrible. That's why I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, I don't knock nobody for riding. I mean, it's your life, your choice. Enjoy it. I mean, they have, and don't get me wrong. Yeah, and then and don't get me wrong. If you know how to ride a bike and you know what safety precautions to take, usually when you see people get hurt on motorcycles, they're usually doing something they shouldn't be doing, like going 140 miles per hour. Usually when somebody get hurt on a bike, it's usually they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, like cutting in and out of traffic, going real fast, and then cars don't see you. You don't realize how fast you come up on a car on a motorcycle. If you're going 140 and they're going 55, 60, and they're getting ready to cross the lanes at 140 miles per hour, you're not going to have time to stop. You're just not. And I'm just saying, so you're not going to have time to stop that bike. Jay, what do you mean? What not true? What part did I say? I don't know. Hold up. Oh, okay. I know. I'm just saying. As yeah, you might be right. I don't know. I mean, I'm not looking at like statistics and stuff. This is just from my opinion. But you probably more right than I am. But I don't know. Like I see a lot of the guy that I was talking about. He was flying, But unfortunately, he was coming so fast, the car cut over and clipped the bike, and that was it. He was just sliding. But, and that, you know, like I tell people, if you're going to ride a motorcycle, man, learn from other riders what safety precautions to take, not just what they train you and stuff. Learn from other riders what safety precautions to take. And it's hard to ride, and Philadelphia is tough. And Philadelphia is not, to me, is even worse. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I agree with you with that, Jay. That's why when I used to ride a motorcycle, and we're in the city, I always try to position myself where the driver in front of me can see me on the motorcycle in their mirror. Yeah, I can only imagine that. So when I used to ride, I always tried to position my bike where the driver in front of me can see me in their mirror. I mean, there's no guarantee, but I try to always position myself where the person in front of me can see me in their mirror as much as possible. And that's why I tell people, if you got a bike, make sure your bike is loud. Don't get quiet bikes. Make sure people can hear you, because they might not see you, but they possibly can hear you. Yeah. City of Philadelphia is people in City of Philadelphia, the drivers don't care about nothing. Yeah, people, like when I say the City of Philadelphia, they don't. I mean, I'm not saying in other states, other cities are not bad, but City of Philadelphia, the drivers don't care about nothing. And then nowadays, I think it's even more dangerous, and Jay might be even more right now than I'm thinking about it, because a lot of these drivers be texting while they're driving and doing all this other stuff in the car while they're driving instead of just actually driving. And then, and no strike to women, but please put the cell phone down while you're driving. I don't understand. They got the cell phone in their hand trying to turn the steering wheel while they holding the cell phone. What is that? Like, you got a cell phone in your hand. And I see this a lot in the city. You got the phone in your hand. They like this, with the cell phone in their hand, trying to turn the steering wheel and drive. With the cell phone in hand, you like this. What is that? Put the phone down. You're not even on the phone. If you got to drive like this and you got the steering wheel in your hand and you holding your phone and you like this, you shouldn't be driving no car. I'm sorry. And I see it a lot. I see it a whole lot. I'm on the road a lot, so I see it a lot. It's dangerous. You should stop. Joyce, I wasn't even going to touch that one. I'm glad you did. So imagine somebody driving, and I'm not saying that men don't do stupid stuff in the car too, but imagine you watching somebody driving. This is me. I'm on the road a lot. I'm watching somebody drive. They got a phone in their hand. They like this, and then you still trying to get to work looking like a clown because it ain't even come out right. Like, you just drive. Drive. That's it. Just drive. You in the car. Drive. Whatever that other stuff you got to do, you even do it before you get in that car or after you get out of that car. But car is for driving. It's for driving. I got a truck, and when I get in my vehicle, my phone goes into my thing before I do anything else. Plug it into it, click, it's there. That's it. And then I drive. My phone's never in my hand when I'm driving. I mean, I can, I play my music sometimes, but it's never in my hand while I'm driving. It's just crazy. Yeah, and most cars have Bluetooth. Mine have Bluetooth. I mean, I don't use it. Well, my truck don't have Bluetooth, but I have the transmitter in my lighter. So that's still the Bluetooth, all the Bluetooth I need. I got a transmitter in there that I use for my music, my phone, and it does the same thing. And that's where I do my Bluetooth through. It's the transmitter. my actual truck don't have Bluetooth in there, but I still use my transmitter and it does the same thing. So my transmitter does the same thing. I don't have it in my truck, but again, if your car don't have Bluetooth, go get a transmitter. That's it. It'll do the same thing for you. Yeah, that's why I don't use. That's the other reason why I don't use them. Like the other vehicle we have, it have that technology in it, but I don't like the fact that the phone, the Bluetooth and stuff in the car take all your information out your phone and stuff. I don't like that. Yeah, that I mean, it's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What Joyce is saying, and that, like, pay attention to the road is what you should be doing. But yeah, guys, I'm getting ready to get out of here because I got to get ready to go, man. I love y'all guys. Thank y'all for hanging out with a brother. Like always, we go sideways. But that's what's up, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Jay, out the pit, Joyce. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Appreciate y'all support. I really do. And like I say, man, make sure you guys have God in your life. If you don't have him already, that's more important than anything that we do and talk about. The other thing is this: please y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there, and y'all have a wonderful, beautiful day. I got to roll up out of here. Peace.